Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
The CrossFit Open is here, everyone, and I cannot express in words my excitement for the Open, especially because it's such a fun time at CrossFit Max and such a fun time for the entire world of CrossFit. So we're going to talk all things about the CrossFit Open, what it is, who's it for, and all the exciting things to come. So we hope you guys enjoy this episode. Make sure you guys please give it a rating and a review on whatever platform you listen to. So let's dive right into it. Here we go. Sit your booty down, woman.
Did you start the podcast with that?
I did. We're in it. Let's go.
Football! I don't know why. It just came over me.
All right, podcast listeners.
Welcome back.
We got a fun episode for you guys today because the CrossFit Games Open is coming up.
Woo!
And I have been waiting 1 year for this podcast to drop. Okay, maybe not 1 year, but since we started this podcast.
We've been looking forward to talking about the Open.
Yeah. And actually, we started the podcast
Right after the Open
right
last
after
year?
the Open, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the Open last year.
Rookies.
So we're going to talk all things CrossFit Open, what it is, how to sign up,
Why you should sign up.
We're going to talk about the logistics of how it's going to be run at CrossFit Max. We're going to talk about categories and which category you should sign up for, which division you should sign up for. We're going to talk about purpose. We're going to talk about movements. Oh my God, we're going to talk about so many cool things.
Are we going to talk about Australia and babies?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to check.
Because the listeners right now are listening to this when we're in Australia. That's right, folks.
Boom.
We are recording this
Hope
weeks.
you like the snow, bitches.
That's so aggro. We are actually filming this like a month before it's getting released, so we're talking deep into the future right now. Just kidding.
Yeah, so if we reference things, we'll try not to time-wise, but we are like a month in your past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, do we even want to do a banter topic? You know what? I would like to do maybe banter topic around our first Open experience.
I feel like you don't need me for this podcast. You are so excited right now.
Yeah.
Like, Brandon is like, high on life.
Yeah, the Open gets me excited.
Okay.
Tell them, Suze, how many Opens have you done?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh my God. All right, I'm just going to take over here. Just kidding. How many Opens have you done? You know how many you've done.
4?
Sounds right. Let's just stare deeply
3?
into your eyes.
I think I've only done 3.
Oh my God, my co-host over here and life partner is so underprepared for this podcast. It's incredible.
Brandon, how many Opens have you done?
This will be my 11th. Any other good questions?
I think this will be my 4th.
I think this, yeah, you've done about 3 or 4. How many years of CrossFit have you done?
4? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I started in 2018.
We've been open for almost 2 years now here. So you've done
I started in
4 or 5 years.
December of 2018, so it was basically 2019, so 4 years.
You took like kind of 1 year off.
That's the problem. That's why it's confusing because I was not one of those people who kept it up during COVID. I just
Became a runner again. You fell into the dark side.
I went back to my roots.
Okay, so I believe this is going to be your 4th Open. You did one last year at the first CrossFit Max. And did you do one at YUL when we were training there?
No.
No, you did not. And then you did 2 at CrossFit
I
de
did
l'Ouest.
one when we were in lockdown at de l'Ouest and one not in lockdown.
Not in lockdown. Okay, so this is going to be your 4th one.
4th Open.
All right, we spent 3 minutes breaking down your Open.
This will be probably my worst Open.
Well, definitely it's going to be an interesting Open for you.
Because I'll be like 25 weeks pregnant or something.
Yeah, for sure there's going to be some sort of things
Limiting
that you can
factor.
do, and you're going to get to a point, which maybe we'll address that for not just you being pregnant, but it's also going to be affecting other people based on their fitness level. Yeah. All right, so my first Open experience, I had joined.
Okay, so now Brandon can finally talk about himself.
I had joined CrossFit in about October of 2013.
Damn.
And The Open then started February. Actually, it's going to be starting in February, the end of February. But the Open, from what I remember, started like beginning of February.
Uh-huh.
So I had been doing CrossFit for like 3 months at that point.
You were a spring chicken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was getting my ass kicked by all these moms and
Yeah.
dads and, you know.
People like 50 years older than you.
20-year-old Brandon was getting his butt kicked inside the gym, and all these people were telling me, "Oh, you have to sign up for the CrossFit Open. It's this really cool thing. Like everyone's gonna do it. We're all gonna do these really hard workouts every Saturday morning. The community's gonna get together, and we're just gonna grind it out, and we're all gonna die. And this is what we're gonna do for the CrossFit Open." And I was like, "All right, sign me up."
Oh, where do I sign? Take my money.
Yeah. And I wasn't really in the CrossFit. I wasn't drinking the CrossFit Kool-Aid at that point. I had done CrossFit very inconsistently at that point. Yeah. I had been doing CrossFit maybe 3 times per week, doing some gym. I was going to another like bodybuilding gym. I think I was going to Monster Gym at the same time. And I was 20 years old, single, partying a lot, doing stupid things that 20-year-old guys do. And exactly.
Just dreaming of me in his future.
Yeah, so I remember signing up for the Open, and it was 2014 at that point, February 2014, and the first Open was released, and didn't even know really what it was. People were talking about it. I was like, all right, let me just show up on Saturday morning. Showed up Saturday morning, probably slept 3 hours because I went out partying at a club the night before.
Attaboy.
Super hungover.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the most hungover I've been while doing a workout
ever.
Did that first workout, and it was such a humbling experience. It was fun. I crashed and died, and actually I remember it was a double under and a ground to overhead workout at a very light weight, 75 pounds for the guys, 55 for the ladies. And at that point, 20-year-old Brandon didn't care about technique. It was pull bar from ground to overhead in any way you could do it. And luckily, the double unders were my jam into CrossFit because I had come from playing college volleyball and playing basketball my whole life. So double unders were something that I really liked. So I thought, wow, a light barbell and some skipping, I could jam with that.
Nice. CrossFit's easy.
I'm going to kill it.
Football.
And all these people go, and I'm like, okay, like I'm seeing scores posted online, on Instagram and stuff like that. Because, if you don't post your workout at the time, you didn't post your workout on Instagram, then it didn't count.
Did you even work out?
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm seeing people.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Less so now.
I'm kidding.
Instagram was definitely like CrossFit and Instagram kind of came up together. Like Instagram started right when CrossFit started becoming a thing.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for CrossFit, Instagram would have never taken off.
I was gonna say the opposite. If it wasn't for Instagram, I don't think CrossFit would have taken off as much.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one, actually.
So seeing all these scores from people I'm following, because I actually got into CrossFit by social media, seeing people do CrossFit.
That's cool.
Anyway, so I torched my lower back, torched it, messed up, couldn't work out the entire week after that. And it was a big humbling experience that, hey, you can't just
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You have to be mindful about how you're moving and how you're lifting.
And everyone's dying to know, how did you do?
Yeah, I sucked. Yeah. I mean, I did my best. And
that's so funny.
That first Open was one of the most humbling experiences ever. And looking back, the cool thing now is this will be my 11th Open. And I can see all of my scores and all of my rankings because I don't think I've missed a single year of the Open since I've done it, since I started CrossFit. And when I did it that year, there was a workout, the second workout. My back was messed up all week. I saw the workout, and the workout had overhead squats in it. And I actually could not do an overhead squat. My mobility in my shoulders, my upper back wouldn't allow me to do an overhead squat. I couldn't do more than, let's say, an empty bar. Like if you put an empty barbell in my hand, I could kind of grind through one. But the workout had 95-pound overhead squats, and my back was all messed up. So I just said, okay, well, I'm just not going to do that one. And I didn't. And I never put a score into the leaderboard. Like I never put a 0 score. I just left it blank. And the really sad thing is I did the 3rd, 4th, and 5th workout because back then there was 5 workouts. Now there's only 3. I didn't get a rank. They just nullified me as like a non-participant in the Open, which kind of really sucked at the end. And I thought, oh, wow, I should have just put a freaking 0 on that score, which would have changed everything, which was super frustrating.
That is sad.
But it was a very humbling experience. And had I not gone through that Open, I don't know if I would be where I am today. I know it sounds pretty extreme to say that.
I like extreme.
But I really learned a lot about the community.
This was a pivotal moment in your fitness career.
Yeah. And I would say during that time of my life where I was partying excessively, I was also very lost in life. I was going to university.
Don't make me cry.
No more crying from you. I was going to university at the time. I really, really was unhappy. I had gone through I'd gone through a rough breakup at the time, like months before that. So I was just going out and just doing stupid things and partying and drinking a lot and not doing the things that lead to a healthy lifestyle. And I also remember really falling in love with CrossFit during that period. So I would say a combination of falling in love with CrossFit, re-falling in love with this competition because I had played high-level sports my whole life. And then when CJEP finished, I had no sports. There was no more basketball. There was no more volleyball.
Young people have that experience. They do sports, and then when they're done school and the sports are kind of gone, they have that like searching for their community.
And I'm less competitive now, but I was extremely competitive then.
You're
I
still
always
competitive.
wanted. I am very competitive, but
if you've ever played a board game with Brandon, you know he's competitive.
But I mean, back then 10 years ago, I was extremely competitive.
Right.
I always wanted to win. I always wanted to be the best, and I always wanted the people around me to be the best, and that's why I really, really loved team sports. But so a combination of falling in love with CrossFit, being extremely humbled by this 5-week period of workouts, seeing my score represented in a worldwide ranking, and then being unhappy with my life outside of the gym. It kind of, all that combined together made me reflect on life in that moment. And that's kind of when I started coming away from university. I said, you know what, like I don't, this isn't for me. Sitting in a classroom studying economics was not my jam. I really, really decided like I really did not want to do that. And then I started falling in love with this CrossFit thing. And then I started really falling in love with coaching people. And that's really when I started training people. But so my CrossFit Open experience was really my first experience, was a very pivotal moment in my life, and it was a very humbling experience, to say the least, back then.
Interesting.
So
basically the CrossFit Open could be life-changing. So
it was
listening
for me,
to this podcast with completely open hearts and open minds could lead you to a really life-changing moment. Maybe this is going to be your crossroads. CrossFit Open 2024.
Well, let's give them a little bit more now information. Now they just heard this story and they're probably like, okay, like what the hell is the CrossFit Open?
They're like, we've made it this far into the podcast and we still don't know what you're talking about. So, okay, what is the Open, Brandon?
The Open, it has obviously evolved over the years, as I mentioned before, but the CrossFit Open is the biggest worldwide fitness participation competition.
Gotcha.
Meaning it's an event that lasts 3 weeks long, that CrossFit HQ, so CrossFit headquarters, releases a workout for 3 weeks in a row. They drop a workout on Thursday, I think at 12 p.m. EST. It used to be 8 p.m., but to make it more worldwide friendly for all the people in Europe and in Asia and everything, they changed it to 12 p.m. So 12 p.m. EST.
They announced the workout.
They announce the workout. They go to some gym anywhere in the world. They've done places in Europe. They've done places in North America. They actually did it one time at CrossFit YUL, which was one of our neighboring gyms here.
Very cool.
Where CrossFit HQ goes over to this spot, this gym, this place, and then they invite a bunch of people from that community and
Yeah.
outside people to come in. And what they do is they announce what the workout is. So they announce a workout on Thursday, and then you have, or the entire world has, until the following Monday at 8 p.m. EST to complete their workout, get it judged by someone at an affiliate, a CrossFit affiliate, and submit it. Yeah. So you do the workout, you get it judged, you submit your score by Monday. So it gives you Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of Monday until 8 p.m. EST to submit your score worldwide. And they repeat that cycle for 3 weeks total. This year, the first one is going to be on February 29th, and they're going to be releasing it, I think the next one is March 7th, if my math is right, and March 14th.
That would make sense, yes.
And yeah, so, and then the whole world participates in this. Hundreds of thousands of people globally
Right.
go to their local CrossFit gym and they compete in this workout. Let's say they do this workout that CrossFit HQ has put up, and then all you do is submit your score online, and that's it.
Wow.
In the most simplistic terms, that is what the CrossFit Open is.
So what do you, in order to participate, all you need to do is sign up to be part of the Open, which is like $20 or something, right?
Exactly. It's $20 US. You go on the CrossFit Games website. You can even just Google it, CrossFit Games Open, and it'll bring you straight to their website. You sign up, you put your name, whatever information, your credit card. It costs $20 for the entire 3 weeks. And that's pretty much the basic in terms of just signing up for the Open.
Yeah, so that's how you get signed up.
Yeah.
And then how you participate in a legitimate way is that you need to do the workout at your affiliate gym. So our members are going to do the workout here, and they're going to be judged by another participant of the Open or one of the coaches or somebody who is deemed a qualified judge.
Yeah.
And that person...
Anyone.
I know, but someone who's a qualified judge has to be signed up for the Open. It can't just be your brother from down the street.
Exactly.
Someone else has to judge you, so they're going to watch your entire workout, count your reps, make sure you're executing the movements to the proper, appropriate standards.
That's what a judge is, not to just sit there and be like, "Blech, he's not wearing the proper color shirt for this workout." A judge is to essentially count the reps and hold the standard of movement.
So making sure that the workout is being executed properly and counting your reps, and then that judge will give you your score.
Yep.
Once you have your score, you enter it on the CrossFit Games website.
Yep. And
the
voila.
CrossFit Max, we go in and we approve your score to just say, yeah, this person's not lying about that score. That's exactly what they did. And then that's that. You have completed one of 3 weeks, and each week it's the same thing. You show up at the gym, you do your workout. It's really fun. You get judged, you submit your score, and boom. Participation done.
Yeah. I love the Open, clearly.
I know.
Because it's just like this crazy...
Should have been called Brandon Open McDowell.
It's such a cool... There's no other... It's not... I guess we can call it a competition. There's no other event worldwide that has this many people signed up to do some sort of physical activity.
Yeah. It's very impressive to know that around the globe, at every CrossFit gym, people are executing the same workout.
Last year, I think there was
epic level of community.
I think last year there was 350,000 people that signed up for the Open. Now, let's talk about who should sign up for the Open, who can sign up for the Open.
CrossFit Games athletes.
And let's talk about the different categories.
Yeah.
So what the Open is in terms of peeling back the layers and essentially what the Open is, it's the first stage of the CrossFit Games to find the fittest in the world.
Right.
Now, what they do is they release these 3 workouts and they put them out to the world. Now, in the competition standpoint, what happens is after these 3 weeks are completed, the top now 25% of those people, those athletes,
Yep.
will move on to quarterfinals. Quarterfinals is also an online qualifier where it's a separate weekend. I think it's 3 weeks after the Open is completed, 2 or 3 weeks after the Open.
Cool.
They release several workouts for the athletes to complete if they want to. Not everyone who makes the quarterfinals has to do it, but essentially the top 25% move on. In one weekend, CrossFit releases 4 or 5 workouts for athletes to complete in a 4 to 5 day window. They have that time to complete it. And then what happens is there are in-person semifinals around the world, and I think there's 6 or 7 of them around the world. So there's one in Europe. So there's a Europe semifinal. There's 2 in North America. There's the North America East, the North America West. Mm-hmm. There's the South America.
Is there Australia?
There's Africa. And then there's, I don't know if it's called Asia, or I believe it's called Asia, which is all of Asia and also Australia, New Zealand.
Damn.
Yeah. So I believe there's 6. I could be messing up the Asia one. There might be an Asia one and an Australia or Oceanic region.
Yeah.
But essentially there's 6 or 7 semifinal events. So they take that top 25%.
So they just keep narrowing it down.
Exactly.
Smaller
It's
and
a funnel.
smaller and
It's a
smaller.
funnel.
Yeah.
They take 50 people from those quarterfinals, the top 50 from each semifinal, from each region of the world, bring them in to semifinals. And then what they do, depending on the region, this is where I think they should clarify this a little bit better and be more organized on this, because some regions are stronger than others. But they take roughly 5 people in each semifinal event and then put them in the CrossFit Games.
And then those are the
And then
ones
those
who
CrossFit
compete.
Games people compete to be the fittest person in the world. And at the end of that weekend of in-person competition, you get the fittest person in the world.
Amazing.
So that's the background of how they find the fittest person in the world.
So the first part of the funnel, the biggest, widest part of the funnel.
You got to have a workout that is open to every single person, anyone in the world who thinks that they can participate in the Open, can participate in the Open.
Gotcha.
Now, it used to be, come do this like badass workout and come like die and puke or whatever. Like that was very like old school, and that's kind of what I was joking about earlier.
We have evolved since
We have
then.
evolved, yeah. The CrossFit Open, for me, and I think for many other CrossFit gyms, and it will be like this for CrossFit Max, is a representation of the world of CrossFitters coming together to showcase a kind of a power of health. Health should be a top priority for everyone in the world. And unfortunately, right now, it is not. But the fact that hundreds of thousands of people can come and do this one epic thing together, this one event that lasts, it's 3 weeks long, but really it's roughly 45 to 90 minutes of your time total. Like it's not like a long period of time. Like you come in and do this AMRAP for 15 minutes. Okay, maybe you need to take 15 to 20, maybe even 30 minutes to warm up for it,
right,
and whatever. But like realistically, like you're only going to be doing workouts that are roughly about 15 minutes.
Right.
You're not going to spend like a ton of time working out. It's not like you have to go run a marathon. It's not a huge time commitment, but it's really just this whole group of people, and group is probably an understatement. It's hundreds of thousands of people coming together to show how powerful CrossFit can be and how amazing communities are at really showcasing like
bringing people together,
bringing a culture that fitness, health, lifestyle, all these things really, I'm trying to find the word here, but
like there's no boundary. Like we're just it's the athletes that participate and come together are basically showcasing that anyone can do this if they choose to put the work in.
Exactly.
And so it comes back to that thing that we talk about all the time here, that this is accessible to anyone who chooses to put in the work and chooses to put in the effort, and this is your chance to show off your hard work and your hard effort. And it's not for everyone, because not everyone is willing to put in the work, but it's definitely for anyone who is.
Yeah. And on that point is now CrossFit has 3 divisions. Well, have many divisions, but essentially every workout that is released has 3, or we'll call them divisions. They have 3 divisions that you can do the workout.
Okay.
There's the RX standard.
Right. This is as prescribed.
You do the workout as prescribed. If they say the barbell has to be 135 pounds, then you have to do it at 135 pounds. Mm-hmm. If the workout says you have to do wall balls at 20 pound with a 20-pound wall ball and hit a 10-foot target, you have to do a 20-pound wall ball and hit a 10-foot target. That is the RX. So as it's written, that's the RX. Then they also have added 2 other divisions. They've added the scaled division. Mm-hmm. So now they release a standard of scaling. So for example, let's use the wall ball for the example. This scaled variation would, instead of guys using a 20-pound ball, they would say men have to use a 14-pound ball. Mm-hmm. And maybe, depending how it is, they might even say the men have to throw a 14-pound ball to a 9-foot target instead of a 10-foot target.
Right.
So they have a scaled variation, right? Or instead of a 135-pound barbell you have to lift, it's going to be maybe a 75-pound barbell.
Right.
So they release this RX workout that is open to the world to do, and then they release this scaled variation, and they've also taken it one step forward because they want the entire world to really be able to participate in this. Mm-hmm. And they have a 3rd division called Foundations, which Foundations is the easiest variation of this. And they'll say something like, okay, instead of a 14-pound ball, you're going to take a 10-pound ball and you're just going to throw it to a 9-foot target. Instead of lifting, not 135, not 75 pounds, you're simply going to lift 35 pounds, let's call it. And they make it very, very, very inclusive for everyone to be able to do this. Okay, instead of toes to bar, you're going to do anchored sit-ups on the ground. So your feet can be in 2 dumbbells, and you go down, you touch the ground above you, come up, and you touch the dumbbells that are underneath or above your feet here.
Right.
So they really make it inclusive for anyone who wants to do this. You can take someone off the street who's never done CrossFit before, and you could make them do the foundation variation of this workout.
Absolutely.
And they will be able to go through it.
Yes.
So if you're wondering, am I
yeah.
fit enough to do this?
100%.
The answer is 100% you can do this. Especially because the listeners right now have been doing CrossFit. If you have done, let's say, one workout at CrossFit Max before, or any workout at a CrossFit gym before, you can do the Open. Boom. Now, when I was kind of confusing before, like divisions, they also have categories. So they have divisions. They have the RX, the scaled, and the foundations. They also have categories. For example, they have the teen category. So they have the 13, 14-year-old teen category. They also have the 14 and 15, and then they have 16 and 17 category. And then there's the biggest category, which is 18 to, I think it's 35 now, 35 years old, or 34, I can't remember, 34, let's say. And then after that, they have age categories after
Masters
that
athletes.
by 5 years, essentially, or by 4 years. So like 36 to
My
40.
65-year-old dad did the Open last year, and he's barely done any CrossFit in his life, and he crushed it.
Yeah, so they have like, okay, instead of doing a dumbbell snatch of 50 pounds for the guys, okay, there's the scaled variation, there's the foundation variation, and then there's the age category.
There's a 65-year-old scaled variation, which is different than the 35-year-old scaled variation.
So they'll say like 65-year-old men, and maybe the RX is 50 pounds, but 65-year-old men have to do a 35-pound dumbbell.
Right.
Okay, that's the RX for 65 men. Okay, the scaled variation for that is a 20-pound, and the foundations version is a 10-pound dumbbell snatch.
Exactly.
So they also have categories based on age as well. And they also have a really cool adaptive category. So we have Alain, who's in a wheelchair and has one leg. He could also participate in this. We'll have to do a little bit more research and knowing how the categories split. But it's really cool. They have an entire adaptive divisions for people.
There are tons of CrossFit athletes out there who are in wheelchairs
my favorite Instagram videos.
limbs.
my favorite Instagram videos are people who have they're in their wheelchairs and they freaking strap them, I don't know, using some sort of strap to hold on, and they're doing like freaking muscle ups with their wheelchair, and I'm like, what the hell is that's so impressive.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite videos. Anyways.
I'm going to be doing the open, and I will be very pregnant. We'll find some way of modifying the workouts to
absolutely
whether I can do the scaled or whether I do the adaptive or whatever category I have to do that week. I will do it.
Yeah. So that kind of talks about, can you do it? What should you do? How, the categories, the divisions, kind of breaks down like, okay, like what is the open represent for us, but also the background of the funneling system of how the open became and how they find essentially the fittest people in the world.
Yes.
One thing I want to just touch on here is when the workouts are released and they announce them, they have, we talked about the judging before, but they have very strict standards on movement quality.
Right.
Because when you have a competition that is has a participation of hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, there needs to be standards for movements. This way, or for example, if I were to say do a wall ball again, and the standard is to break parallel on your squat, meaning hips go below knees, right? Which means you're sitting down quite low, and then you have to toss that ball all the way up to the target, and the ball has to touch
the target. It has to touch the wall.
It's a very strict standard. It's squat below parallel, touch the wall ball. It's very clear to judge this. If there is no standard, well, someone who does like a half-ass squat and throws the ball maybe 6 feet up in the air compared to throwing it to 10 feet is definitely going to be able to do more repetitions. So what I really love about the open is that they really standardize each and every single movement so it's fair across the entire playing field.
So quality reps required.
Quality reps required. And the thing about that is sometimes it brings out weaknesses in people.
Right.
We saw this last year where there was wall walks in the open. And what they did is you had 2 pieces of tape that you had to I had to. I was on Thursday night just taping the ground here. You had to measure, I think it was 48 inches away from the wall, so 4 feet away from the wall. There had to be a piece of tape where your hands just had to start on the other side of that tape when you're lying down on the ground. And then there was another tape that was 6 inches away from the wall. So when you did your wall walk, both hands have to touch that tape 6 inches away from the wall, which makes you quite vertical, like you're quite upside down at that point. And then once your hands both touch the tape, which is very clear to judge, it's not opinion based. It's not like, oh, did they go high enough? It's like, did the hand touch the tape? Yes or no? Yes, it did. Okay, now they're clear to walk back and control. Right. And your hands had to pass that second tape that was, I think, 48 inches away before you could bring your legs off of the wall here. Last year, we had people who got exposed on that because they're not used to walking, because in group classes, we don't tape up the ground here and hold these like strict standards. It's more just walk up, show us good quality control. If you feel good, go up and maybe touch your nose against the wall and then walk back down. But in a group setting throughout the year, it's very easy to get kind of close to the wall as opposed to grinding it out and getting that extra inch or two. And last year in the open, we saw that. We saw people get to a point where they're like, oh, I can't get my other hand to that tape. And it takes them a grind and hard. And they're like, darn, like I thought I was so good in wall walks. But I do like this aspect of the open. It's very standardized.
It's a fun, eye-opening experience as an athlete,
and you're going
to hold yourself to a high standard of movement quality.
And you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to take away at the end of the open and tell yourself, oh, right, like I need to work a little bit more on that. Or even like something as small as going back to the wall ball, you have to hit the target with the wall ball. How many times have you squatted down, tossed the ball up in the air, and it misses the wall completely, and you just keep counting? That's one, and you go to the next one, that's two, and next three, you know?
Yeah.
You just keep counting. But in the open, the judge is going to be there, and the judge is going to say, no rep, it doesn't count. And you're like, shoot, now instead of having to do 12 wall balls, I have to do 13 or even 14 wall balls because I got no rep 1 or 2 times.
That happens to me.
So it's like just fine-tuning the movement quality that I really love about the Open.
And what's cool is after that, when you were then working out in the group classes, after having experienced the scrutiny of the movement quality that comes with judging in the Open, when you're working out in the group classes, you have a better or a clear understanding of like, if you notice if your wall ball isn't touching the wall, and sure, you might not know rep yourself, but you're aware that like, oh, that wouldn't have counted if we were doing it in the Open workout or whatever. So you start to hold yourself to a higher standard in your regular group class sessions, which is fun.
Yeah, it's so
just
much
makes
fun.
you a better athlete overall.
Yeah,
we're just constantly trying to level up, guys.
Yeah, and also the fun part is that you don't have to count any of your reps. Someone's going to count them for you.
Oh, you know what? I think a lot of our members would be grateful for that.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Oh, man.
I love teasing people.
I'm excited for Vanessa to do the... I'm excited for her to do the Open this year.
So random, but we just like whipped out a video of her recently, and
yeah, we're going to showcase that soon.
She wasn't even able to do a single pull-up long ago, and now she can chain like 15 of them, which is just like mind-blowing. Mind
blown here. But yeah, so, okay. Now, we know that there's a hard standard for all the movements. And I had a good conversation with one of our clients yesterday. In the Open, if you RX the workout, as opposed to choosing the easier variation, right? As opposed to the scaled and as opposed to the foundation. So if you choose the RX variation, you will be ranked above everyone that does the scaled version.
Okay.
So let's say they release the workout and you are the worst person in the world in that workout, right? Let's use very nice numbers. Let's say there's 150,000 men in the world who sign up for the Open, and you are the very last person that finished in the entire world. That's rough, but let's just use this as a clear guideline here.
We all start somewhere.
And let's say 50,000 of those 150,000 people did the workout RX. You finish dead last in the RX category. You will be ranked 50,000. Now, let's say from 50,000 and first to 100,000, all of those athletes did it scaled. You will be ranked above every single person that did the workout scaled.
If you RX'd it, but you were the worst in RX.
The worst person in the world will do better than the best person in the world in the scaled category.
Yes.
Because you did the workout as prescribed. You were able to do the movements that they wrote on the board. Even though you may have finished last, you still completed a harder workout than someone who did the scaled version. Mm-hmm. And then same goes from scaled
and foundations.
To foundations, right? Mm-hmm. If you finish last in scaled, then you finish, let's just say 100,000. The person who's the best in the world at doing the foundations, they can only finish 100,000 in first place.
So this is where we talk about the workout approach differently in the Open than we would in, say, a group class.
Yes. Because in a group class, we're just training.
And we're trying to get a stimulus in the
workout. We're trying to get a good stimulus. Mm-hmm. We're training. But the Open, you could consider it training, but I consider this the test of the year.
Testing.
We're
testing our fitness.
This is the test of your fitness. And if you can do this workout as prescribed in any way prescribed, you have to go for it. You have to try your best to go for it RX if you can. Or same thing if you're deciding between foundations and scaled, you have to try to do the variation that is more challenging.
Even if you can only do a handful of reps of the workout instead of doing like 10 rounds or something, you're still better off doing those handful of reps at that more challenging variation than doing a gazillion rounds on an easier version, because your score overall will be ranked higher.
Exactly. Now, the mindset, so I had this really good conversation with a client yesterday. The mindset approach for this is not, or should not be, a negative one where you're like, ugh, like I could only do a few of the RX repetitions versus like going to like, I can go kick ass in that easier category over there, right? The mindset should be, hey, I have trained so hard over this X period of time, whether that's years, or even months, and hell yeah, I can participate in that RX category. I can actually do some of that harder variation. So I want to put my body through a challenging test for these 3 weeks rather than back off and just get a good sweat on and do the easier variation. And you should be pumped up and excited and be proud of the fact that, hey, frick yeah, I can go and do that pull-up. Maybe I'll only be able to do 12 of those pull-ups, and I won't be able to do, the 45 ring rows that are required for me to do in the scaled category. And I'm going to be stuck there for a few minutes just grinding it out. But I am so proud of myself and so freaking pumped up that I'm able to participate in that RX variation as prescribed. And going back to what I was talking about earlier, one of my first open experiences was, which was really cool, it was Open 14.4. Well, we should talk about actually the naming behind the workouts, which we'll get to that in a second here.
Okay.
But Open 14.4 was actually a redo last year. It was the first open workout. It was 23.1. So last year we did a redo of one of the first open workouts I did. So it was really epic to compare my score from 2014, my first ever year of the CrossFit Games Open, versus first year of CrossFit Max doing the Open on my 10th Open, which was epic.
Damn, yeah. 10th Open was done in your own affiliate.
Yeah.
Damn, that is so cool, babe.
It was very fun last year. I was very excited.
I'll try not to cry.
When I did that Open, there was no other categories or divisions. There was only RX. That's it. Here's the workout. You either do it or you don't. There's no scale. There's no foundations.
Gotcha. They weren't inclusive yet.
I don't even think there was age categories. It was just, this is
like,
the
here's
workout.
the workout. Do it or don't.
Yeah, exactly. So in that workout, it was an AMRAP of 14 minutes. The really elite guys got to be able to do AMRAP. For most of the world, it was pretty much try to get as far as you could into the workout. And you started with 60 calories on the rowing machine, which that was Brandon's jam 10 years ago. That was one of the low skill movements that I was long. I'm a taller athlete, so long pulls, cardio stuff, I'm good at that. Low skill, I could jam with that. So 60 calories on the row. It was 50 toes to bar, 40 wall balls, 30 power cleans at 135, which when I started CrossFit, power cleans was one of my favorite movements.
I feel like it still is one of your favorite movements.
Actually, I don't know why, but for the last 11
like, don't
years.
you just love those?
Yeah, I love power cleans. And it was at 135 for the guys, so very manageable weight, even though I wasn't very strong then. And then 20 muscle ups on the rings.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my goal was to just get to the muscle ups. I knew I couldn't do a muscle up, but I was like, if I can just get there, I'll be so happy. And I think I have the physical capability, the engine to be able to push. So what happened? Killed it on the row.
Savage.
I'm an animal. I'm gonna kill this open workout.
Yes, get it.
And finish the calories on the row in like 2 or maybe 3 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes. It was way too fast. Finished in 3 minutes. I had more than 10 minutes left on the clock. And for 10 minutes, I stood there underneath the pull-up bar, and I tried to do toes to bar for the remainder of the time.
Oh, no.
Those 50 toes to bar, I would get no rep. I would try everything to swing my body up. I would get one foot touches, then the other foot would touch after, but they got to touch at the same time.
Right.
So it was a really eye-opening experience, and I took away from that, hey, this will never happen to me again, where I'm just stuck doing freaking toes to bar and I'm getting no rep after no rep after no rep. And I told myself that will never happen again. And I worked on toes to bar for a freaking year. And the following year, when toes to bar came up in the open, it wasn't the same workout.
You were like,
but
yes, I've been training
I was
for this.
so ready for toes to bar to come up. and I killed it. I freaking killed it. And toes to bar is actually one of the most frequently seen movements in the open. So it's a high probability that toes to bar will be in the open.
Toes to bar. I'm so sad.
Yeah. So, and it was really cool because last year when I got to redo it, I obviously spanked my score from 11 years, and I did those toes to bar within a couple minutes, you know?
Nice.
So I spent 10 minutes just, I remember my judges just looking at me like, oh, no rep.
It's
no
painful
rep.
when you're judging someone and you have to keep no repping them, but you have to, but it is so hard, right? Because you want it for them just as bad as they want it.
I swear I spent 10 minutes doing toes to bar, and I got like 30 of them. I got 30 of them out of the 50, and I was so frustrated after, and I was like, what the freak? Like, people were all like on the wall balls, on the power clean. Some people got to the muscle ups. And I was like so pissed at myself. But if there was an easier variation at the time, if there was a scaled version, maybe I might have just done that scaled version and just never learned that lesson for myself. And I told myself that there was no option to do that at the time. But if there is some sort of movement that you're like nervous about or scared to do,
or I can only go one pull up at a time.
Yeah, like embrace it.
Do it.
Just embrace.
Suffer.
Yeah, like get uncomfortable. And it's not that you're bad. It's just that maybe you don't have the physical capabilities just yet to get through either a high volume, or maybe the weight on the bar is really heavy and you can grind out like one at a time.
Or what might happen is you surprise yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Which we have a lot of people doing that, getting their first ever muscle up in the open. It's the open magic, they call it.
There's something magic about the open.
Yeah.
You know, you like, I can only do one pull-up ever. And then for the first time ever, you chain 2 pull-ups together or something like that, because you're just trying something outside of your comfort zone, whereas you would have maybe previously given yourself a limiting belief that I can't do that, so why try?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can lift a weight that you didn't think you were able to lift prior.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And obviously, if there's movements you physically cannot do, you're like, well, that weight is 80 pounds over my 1 rep max. I'm definitely not going to be able to do the RX version. Typically, the open is very inclusive, and they try to get as many people doing the workout as possible without having to scale.
Or but you might be able to do some of the workout.
Yeah, exactly. You might just be able to do some of the workout, and that's totally fine. And I encourage you guys to embrace that. And instead of being like, oh, I suck, I can only do a few of them or not even the whole workout, you should be like really proud of yourself that you have the physical capabilities at whatever age you're at to be able to sign up for this event and to be able to push your body through that limit.
Boom, mic drop.
And then the last thing I just want to say, which I forgot to mention before, is when you hear people like us say open workout 14.4 or 23.1, essentially the names of the workout are the year and the workout. So last year, the first open workout of the year 2023, it's called open workout 23.1. And then the second open workout is open workout 23.2. And then the last workout was open 23.3. So that's the name. That's the fun. The way we're going to be doing it here is the workout is released on the Thursday by CrossFit headquarters.
Yeah.
Friday, we are going to do our Friday night lights. So we're going to get together as a community. The group class for the morning session is going to be the open. So any of our members who plan on working out on Friday, you are going to be doing it.
Whether you like it or not.
At 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and 12. So we will keep those classes open. But the goal, and I encourage even my morning squad people, is to get together as a community to throw down Friday nights. It's super fun. We're going to be, so let's say you sign up for 4 p.m. We're going to be shooting people into waves, and then we don't really know what the workout is until Thursday, but let's say it's an AMRAP of 12 minutes. So we'll shoot a wave off at 4 p.m., and then those people will take 12 minutes to go, and then the next wave is going to go at, let's say, 4:20 after we switch the equipment and whatever needs to happen. The next people come in, and then another wave at 4:40, another wave at 5, and we have like a fan zone as well.
Yeah,
so a
we
lot
got stands for people to cheer.
Yeah, so once you work out, you go in the fan zone, you're cheering people on. People bring their family members in, their kids, their partners from out of the gym, and they're just cheering everyone on.
Yeah, it's fun. You can show your friends and family like this CrossFit thing that you keep talking about. Like it's a great time for them to come watch. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a freaking good atmosphere in the gym. This is not about how amazing your score could be. This is not about the competitive drive. For sure, everyone can be a little bit competitive, and
it is a time to be competitive. If you want to be competitive, send it.
Yeah,
go to your dark place.
Yeah. If you feel internally like you want to go for it, then freaking go for it. I promise you, I will be going full dark place, push my limits, push my threshold, get uncomfortable, and I'm going to be giving it my all every single workout.
It's fun to watch people to go just to that different level. In group classes, we're training, and there's we're more mindful of our intensity. This is your chance to balls to the walls if you want to.
Yeah, and the program around the Open is also going to be with the expectation that everyone is doing the workouts on Friday. So the intensity of the week is going to be just enough stimulus for you to feel good about going into your Friday. I'm not going to wreck you guys. I'm not going to wreck your body on the Wednesday, Thursday. Thursdays are going to be the cardio and cardio. Wednesdays are going to be very low intensity workouts.
Yeah.
So the program is going to be set for you to be able to feel good for Friday.
Yeah.
And yeah, we all just jam out. We hit the workout hard on Friday night, and we have fun. So I hope that after hearing this podcast, you've learned a lot about the Open. If you have friends or families or people that you know that are also doing CrossFit in different parts of the world, it's so epic to write to them and be like, hey, are you doing the Open in France, or are you doing the Open in Brazil? Like, we have these people who know others from around the world that are going to be able to communicate with each other, cool. And everyone in the world is going to go through
We're all having a shared experience,
like the exact same experience that you're going to go through, which I find is so freaking cool. Coaches, clients, friends, family members, everyone's going to go through that experience together, and it's so fun. Now, because we are recording this episode for it to be released in the future,
we are in the present right now, but Brandon and I are in the past while we're recording this. But as you listen, it is present.
Yeah. So we couldn't name a client of the week because we don't know who the client of the week is because we're not here. But
we're gonna do a different tradition.
Do a different little segment here, and that is gonna be just naming a fond memory of.
Pew 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 pew.
We need to come up with a different sound entirely for that. And I want to highlight two memories. One memory.
Are they going to be open related?
Open related.
Open
yes,
related
memories. Related
memories.
to the Open. Now, last year when we were going through this process of explaining what the Open is to our members and talking to them about how fun it's going to be, we had a certain member who was relatively new in our gym.
Yes.
We've spoken about her on the podcast before. She was hesitant to start. She did her foundations once a week, once every 2 weeks, got a 10 punch card.
I had to email her a lot of times to get her in the door.
Yeah. And then, after many, many months of communication and pushing her, she decided, I don't remember if she got a membership. I think she asked me about the Open first. Like, by the way, this super athlete is Ashley. Now, I can't remember the timeline, but I think she might have been still on a 10 punch card where she was asking me about the Open. And then randomly, she's like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for the Open. And I was like, wait, what? This is so freaking cool. You went from, barely coming to the group classes to wanting to participate in this worldwide event. Like, how epic is that? And then I think, I don't want to speak for her, but I would definitely say there was a massive transition pivot in her healthy lifestyle and her CrossFit lifestyle as well.
I think we can say that with confidence.
As soon as she participated in the Open, there was definitely a fire that was lit in her that I've seen
she
many
really,
times with other people.
Gave it her all.
Yeah.
Like, she was so dialed in. And
she struggled on things, pushed herself in RX in a couple things, I believe.
Hell yeah, she did.
And yeah, she got really out of her comfort zone. And then from there, she got a 2 times a week membership, or maybe she had just gotten a 2 times. I can't remember the timeline. But then for sure, she started upgrading, got a 3 times within like very short period of time. Unlimited. She's here like 5 times, 6 times a week, whatever that number is. I feel like she lives here, like you said. So that was a really fun experience. Someone who had just started CrossFit, very similar to my situation.
Yeah.
And was...
She didn't say no to the challenge.
I didn't even approach her. She approached me.
Us.
Yeah, she approached me and was like, okay, like I'm going to sign up. I'm like, what?
Considering
like,
she was the most apprehensive when she joined the gym.
Yeah.
It was really like a pivotal moment, I think, in her just like understanding of what CrossFit is really all about.
Yeah.
I think that was for her like an eye-opening experience, and I'm really excited for her to participate this year because the amount of leaps and bounds she has made in her fitness in the last year,
she's gonna
unmatched.
Yeah. And then
second memory, I don't even know what you're gonna say.
Memory,
surprise for me.
I kind of thought about it when we turned on the podcast here. It is a really good memories of that workout we spoke of, 14.4/redo of 23.1. Classic example of should I do RX or should I do the scaled variation. Jason said, yeah, like I can kind of grind out like 1 toes-to bar at a time. Should I do it? I can obviously row. And he was mostly concerned about the wall balls. And at that time, I don't even think he could power clean 135. But I don't think he was so stressed about getting to the power cleans. He just wanted to get to the wall balls. And he's like, man, like you can't chain more than 1 wall ball together. And I said, you know what you're going to do is if you get to that point, like let's get you to do the calories on the row. Let's get you to grind out the toes to bar. See if you can get those 50 toes to bar because
50 is
I've
a
been
lot.
there. I've been through 50 toes to bar before, and it's not always pleasant. And yeah, and let's literally get to that med ball. And there's no way that with all of your force, life or death, gun to head, you could not throw that ball to 10-foot target with 20 pounds in your hand.
Just one by one,
so
baby.
Literally, you're going to pick up that ball and you're going to squat low. He has great range of motion in his hips. And I said, you're going to squat low. And every time you stand up, you're going to launch that ball as hard as you can to that target.
Rocket ship.
And you're just going to do that one at a time. Don't worry about catching the ball after.
Just let it fall.
Let the ball fall down to the ground, pick it up, and keep doing that. And he did that. I cannot remember how many he did. I think he did like 18 or 20 or something like that. So he got calories, got his toes to bar done, and he literally grinded a wall ball as if it was his 1 rep max every single repetition. And we did a workout. We all know
Jay likes to be noisy when he works out too. So I can just picture.
Yeah. He was grunting every wall ball, and I loved it.
I love it too.
And then 2 days ago, we did a workout. No, yesterday, actually. Excuse me. Yesterday, we did a workout where we had to do 12 wall balls in the AMRAP that we had at 20 pounds for the guys, 14 for the ladies. And I asked him, I said, hey, dude, how did that wall ball workout go? He's like, yeah, I did 12 unbroken every single time.
Boom.
So
insane.
It's crazy because now he lifts that 20-pound med ball like it's
like
not
it's
like
20
it's
pounds.
nothing, but it's like literally like he's doing like boom, 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 chaining like 15, 20 reps in a row without needing to break. Whereas literally a year ago, he was doing 1 wall ball, launching everything he could at that wall with the force of that ball, and now he's busting reps out together. So
it's gonna be fun to see him compete.
I'm really looking forward to seeing both Ashley and Jay progress. And I mean, there's so many other memories and so many other cool things that happened last year. Which we will talk
about in some following episodes.
Yeah, for sure. But those 2 fond memories were big highlights for me as well.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited for the Open. As you can tell, this is
excited.
a little bit of a longer podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys sign up for the Open. Don't be shy. Don't give in to that fear.
Don't put yourself in a box. You can do it, and you will have fun.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're at CrossFit Max, you have to sign up. We're going to force you. We're going to take your hand. We're going to get you on that laptop. We're going to type in your name for you, and we're going to take in your credit card information. We're going to make you sign up. And it's such a fun experience. And just look at it like it's a good time as an entire community of people focusing and putting health and fitness as their top priority in their life.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Boom. Mic drop. Hopefully you guys got some good value out of this episode.
See ya.
And we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.
Bye.